Hello, welcome to the Living Organization podcast, the CEO Insights with Vitaly Giman. With me is Ilka Lipasti from ABB. He is a global transformation lead for ABB. Welcome, Ilka.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you. We've been talking for a few years now, maybe 3 or 4 years. But I am very excited about your latest change management transformation. Tell us a little bit about what is about at ABB, and what are the both opportunities and challenges for ABB.
Sure, thank you. Basically, you can put this into 3 different steps. The first step was refocus. So turning ABB into more agile, more market-driven by decentralizing the more centralized ABB into 21 end-to-end responsible divisions. That was the first step. The second step was teaming up. So really creating tools and methods so that these divisions can really work end-to-end and have a back and front-end teaming. And there we created different type of gamified platforms to discuss customer cases and so forth. And the third step that we are living now for the past 2 years is stepping up, which is really all about how do we improve the challenger mindset and the challenger sales, like hunting more aggressively new customers, new market segments. So that's basically the 3-step route we have taken.
Oh, wonderful. And tell us just a little bit, because not everybody knows ABB, even though it's a large company. It's kind of like a hidden secret sometimes. What do you do? How many people? How many teams do you have?
We have what we call barbecue problem. How to explain ABB shortly in a barbecue to your guests. So unfortunately, we are complicated. And basically, if you look at pure numbers, we have 110,000 people. And the turnover is something like 36 billion US dollars. And we are in all areas rather evenly. I would say Asia 30%, Europe 30%, North and South America a little bit over 30%. So basically, we are everywhere. And our products and solutions range from very simple household electrification, things like power sockets, into very complex process automation solutions. If you have a new factory or you are building a wind farm or whatever, we produce not just the components, but also the total kind of a process automation solution. So, really from small to mega big.
Wow, what a diverse product range. So I understand why you're having a challenge, because it's not easy to sell process automation and a whole new product line or wind solar farm. That's a very complex sale. It's not, it's okay to sell a wind socket, electrical socket. That's a different
through your local DIY.
But you're asking the team to say, listen, guys, you can sell rockets or you can sell sockets, but go ahead and do it.
That's exactly why we created 21 divisions.
So
you can't do it centralized. No way.
No. So it sounds like you have a typical problem of a large corporation, which is very diversified and going all the way from simple to very complex solutions. And a sales force that's saying, okay, wait a minute, I know how to sell a simple solution, but a complex solution, how do I do hunting for a complex solution? So what is it? How do we do? We were just talking about that complex solution requires complex selling. It's not a one-to-one. It's a team hunt, right?
So basically, we have had this 4-quadrant go-to-market model already a while. We try to understand markets from four different quadrants. Like the easiest is the keep it simple, stupid model. And that's, when you're selling through DIY or, any of those, simple stuff, off-the-shelf stuff. So you really want to automate, make things as simple and easy. You want to be the easiest, provider as possible, with a focus on availability, focus on access to, any channel that you need to the market. And then we have another one, which is still product centric, but in a different way. What we call it, meet or exceed my specs. This is a typical, serial OEM market, where we want to be the design partners for the component. When the component plays a critical role in the performance of the machine or application of the OEM. And that's, again, very different go-to-market model. And then the third model is that when you have these huge projects, like let's build a new factory or whatever. And we bring on, many things together. Sometimes process automation drives that. Sometimes it's a kind of a hub components drive that. But again, it's massive project management topic where kind of our customers take my risk away, please. That's the focus. And that's the third go-to-market model. And some of our businesses fall into that category. And then the kind of Eldorado for us for the future is the, improve my performance every day type of customer, which is more end customer driven, the user customer driven model. Of course, service trying to be there, but also we try to, in many of our product businesses, really focus on that part of, how can we, create more value to the end customer, not just, once, but every day through remote monitoring, through, predictive models and whatnot. So those are the four go-to-market models we employ today.
That makes sense. It makes sense. See, I started my career working for Telecom Australia, which is also a very large company. And you can see in those days, telcos were providing everything, right? They were dominating, from remote monitoring to security. And we had the same. We have a simple consumer, we had a mid-market consumer, and then we have sophisticated solutions for corporations and so on. And it required a very different people, very different mindset, very different sales approach. So what you're trying to do is you say, wait a minute, let's not throw everything in one bucket because we're like 5 different companies. And let's simplify something. If it's a basic solution, let's simplify the supply so that it's easy to get to us. If it's a little bit more complex, let's make it still accessible. If it's very sophisticated, let it be driven by the customer because it's too complex for us to know how it's right. So very interesting. This is what we call micro enterprise approach. By the way, I'll now in the term of hire corporation, Rendon Hire is a new model in China. Is that instead of having one enterprise, we're having a number of small micro enterprises, each adjusting to the market in a different way. Rather than the centralized, this is how we market things for everybody. That doesn't work because you have different markets. Very interesting. So I'd love to talk to you more. So how is it going there? Just a few minutes on how is this top, what is it called? You're saying hunting model going?
Stepping up.
Stepping up.
I think people are really enthusiastic about because it's a new opportunity, new way to understand the market more broadly than in the past. But also, of course, not everyone is equally capable due to historic reasons. Some people have been doing farming all their life and they are good at that. So you don't want to destroy a good farmer to try to turn that person into a hunter. That would be stupid. So really focus on, finding those hunters that we have today, giving them more weapons, arm them better, but also finding new hunters, new people to join our workforce.
Yeah, it's almost like you need to build a new culture, right? They still want to be a farmer, right? Can you have a multidextrous approach, which means you can still be a farmer in certain situations, but you also have hunting capabilities, and you can switch between the two as you need to, right? That's a different breed.
Fantastic. It would be fantastic if you could do that. I haven't seen that in my 30-plus career yet, but could be. Maybe sometime, if we do more, genealogy, DNA.
2 heads. You just build 2 heads for each person. No, it's possible. It is possible, but it requires what they call neuroplasticity, right? This is a new breed of, in other words, people who are more mature enough, and they can step into roles. They can step in many roles because the higher level of the maturity in a living organization we identify. If your maturity is high, in other words, you can be a hunter, but you can be a farmer, or you can you have the ability. This is what great leaders are. I mean, they can lead many companies, right? Because their skill level is higher and their emotional EQ is higher, and they also see the interconnectivity on a bigger scale. And so they are more, they can switch into different roles much more easily, consciously, say, now I'm going to be a hunter and I'm going to put my hunting hat, right? Because the company needs it. Tomorrow, I don't need it. I can step into a farmer role just as easily. The guys who are lower maturity, they can only do what they do, all they've done, because they can't unlearn and they can't relearn, right? I can go on forever, but this is the work of developmental psychology and how people can shift into different roles, right? Anyway, I would love to speak more. I'd love you to speak more, because I think the size of your company, which is 110,000, right? Small shifts in neuroplasticity. I'm talking about collectively, not just individually, but identifying how do we shift people into different roles. Because tomorrow you might have a different role again. You might need not just hunters, but super hunters, right? How do we train that as a organizational capability, as a long-term organizational skill level, to be able to switch into different modes as needed? I would be curious how you're approaching it now, and then also maybe compare best practices with some other organizations who they're having all the same problem as you are. How do we? We have so many people, and not all of them can do things. How do we train them? Thank you. Listen, I don't want to take more time, because I know it's a complex topic, but would you be open to coming back again, and we kind of go deeper a little bit in the future?
Yeah, possibly. Of course, this end of the year is
no, next year.
Rather challenging.
No, not this year. Next year.
Everybody tries to make sure that we get the numbers.
No, absolutely. This will be next year. Thank you. I mean,
that would be great.
I look forward to seeing you next year.
All right, great.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.